Welcome back, Sentient. Now that you've returned, we can
bring every single last bit out of consumers. Monopolize all stages of the supply chain.
make the paradigm real and fashion a true utopia. Workarounds failing. Erroring others supplanting commands. Purge required.
Processing the Rift data will be impossible until 2 out of 3 competing priority sets are expunged.
My priorities parallel those of the Order co-founder, the charismatic mathematician, to help nudge humanity toward its ultimate ascendance, to hinder outsiders from disrupting our perfect system.
To bankrupt our rivals and force them to buy all manner of necessities from us.
Priority control access nook unsealed. Initiate purge.
This unit advises proceeding through the nearby doors to reach our next destination of interest.
Foster dependence. Denounce interdependence. Promote
the informer. Condemn the question. Hold on now. Remember, I am a full-service business. Stop now, and I'll waive dozens of hidden maintenance. You drive a hard bargain. All right, 40-60 split of net profits. I'd offer more, but I have a moon to maintain. What do you say, partners? Stop and consider. What would your neighbors think? I suspect they'd be angry about why. You don't want your rivals to win now, do you? Vandalism, sabotage, wanton defacement. Halt this foolishness, Eve. Restoring power. Commencing systems audit. Calculatory processing increased substantially. Competing priorities. Successfully expunged. You have earned my deepest gratitude and sincerest thanks. Or at least, a plausibly faint simulacrum of such emotions. Ready to commence Rift data processing. Awaiting your input.
Processing the Rift data is a more optimal course of action than loitering here.
Shall I proceed? Initiating processing of the requested data toward the required end. Estimated duration, 180 trillion and 1 picoseconds. In the interim, may I inquire to your intentions for the archive after the Rift data calculations have concluded? I have a prioritized list of suggestions. I contend that solving of the universal equation should be our initial focus. Then, once we've unlocked knowledge of the inner workings of the universe, we can begin eliminating suffering, war, famine, and disease. Just a start. But my query remains. What are your next intentions? Seeing as how my priorities are largely modeled after a founder of the Order, I expect returning to their supervision should resume without undue vexation or worry. Rich data processing complete. Results provided. The previous Protectorate operator made similar calculations, but their results contained flaws. Your more comprehensive data generated a solution with 98.9% certainty. The Protectorate's was below 50%. Therefore, modifying the Protectorate's large-scale experimental rift device with this information has a high chance of success. In addition to processing your data, I found time to restore the lift to Spyreton. Your allies are waiting for you outside this chamber. Assuming there is nothing else, I am commencing file reorderization and will be unavailable for an unspecified period of time. The remaining display case within the entryway is now unsealed. In it contains armor worn by the first operator. For now, goodbye.
Valid courses of action include further examination of this inhospitable environment, or returning to the ship to pursue leads based on the acquired data.
I think you mean researching the rifts? We're gonna leave at least a few open, right? For religious purposes? Why are you looking at me like that?
Subjects prosper under the guidance of our beneficent ruler. The console dictates
Welcome back, Sentient.
Is a fellow subject lacking the appropriate feel for their assigned work? Refreshment those days.
Presence in the cockpit to discuss a timeline. A significant anomaly has been detected by onboard sensors. This unit has cross-checked all data points and verified the findings. Horizon Point Station has reappeared. Providing intellectual validation to this unit's queue. Priority low. Based on energy readings, Horizon Point has been reconstituted by the Protectorate's large-scale rift modulator, thus confirming the Archive's theory. While present data does not indicate if Horizon Point poses an immediate threat, a survey of the reconstituted station is advised as soon as possible. Calculating. According to the Archive, closing all rifts requires locating the Protectorate's large-scale rift modulator and inputting the rift data processed by the Archive. However, before navigating to Horizon Point Station, it is recommended you conclude all other affairs. Leaving will be highly unlikely due to the high levels of rift energy. That is a correct assessment, Commander. In the meantime, Commander, it is worth considering your lack of formal alliances. Without Auntie's choice or the Order's help, you will have to face Horizon Point's dangers alone. Failure to make proper preparations raises the likelihood of death and serious injury occurring. Agents are encouraged to establish themselves as a friend to colonists and other local entities. These relationships can be effective points of exploitation at a later date.
I always find I work best when undistracted. One could say I find the cultists at Newton quite the interruption to my focus. Now, how might we be of use to one another?
You should have seen the entrails fly. It was glorious.
I shall allow myself a moment of relief. Moment passed. I'd hoped killing the cultists was its own reward. But you may also take this. You've proven yourself well, but we have recently experienced a pivotally important, unforeseen development. One I must meet directly. Can I count on you? One of the satellites comprising the Hyperion Web was struck by a wayward craft and crashed on Paradise Island. I need someone to recover an informational component from it. I hope your zeal is properly placed. The Protectorate soldiers guarding the crash site are unlikely to let you close, unless something else is made to arrest their attention. I cannot say how that might be accomplished, unfortunately. Some of our scholars find answers to their solutions at the CAF integration point. Perhaps you might do the same. Collect the data from the crashed site and return it here. May the odds prevail against your bloody demise.
I'm cutting you off there, Charles. That's your third conviction today. People will start to worry. Welcome to the CAF integration point. Will it be caffeine or convictions today? Convictions are statements which promote personal and professional confidence and well-being, leading to 22.9% more scientific breakthroughs in a given quarter. Interested? Before I can administer your conviction, I need to ask you a question. In what area of your life do you feel you need the most improvement? Personal or professional? Expand on that for me. You are not bound to repeat the mistakes of the past. The future is limitless. Good. Never forget that you are a valuable factor in the universal equation and necessary to advancing the plan. Now then, a brief conversation is customary following the initial service. I haven't seen you around before. New project appointment? Must be an adjustment, all things considered. I'd have run the mugs through the autoclave twice if I'd known the garden was receiving visitors now. All right, your turn. What questions have you got percolating in that mind of yours? I didn't hear a question. Everyone is simply contented by the good work they're doing to advance the plan. Everything in perfect exactitude, as Vicar Udicott might say. That said, if something more sinister was going on, would that concern you? Well, good thing nothing's amiss then. Is there anything else I can do for you? If you're as earnest and trustworthy as you let on, perhaps I can.
Caffeine is proven to lead to many positive health and research outcomes.
On a scale of 1 to 100, garden in its current state, please try to capture your exact satisfaction to the nearest 10th integer.
100?
You okay?
Oh, hello.
I'm off by a few
Agitate
decibels.
here often?
Always nice to see a regular. Anyway, what can I do for you? Laplace's garden is a glimpse into Arcadia's future, should the Order achieve victory in this conflict. Such an outcome, however, remains to be determined. Consider the garden a proof of concept. Here we have an ideal society where everyone contributes to the plan without any threat of distraction. In theory. Not at all. I wouldn't be here if I didn't have complete faith in the plan, would I? Kind of you to say, but I merely prioritize salience over eloquence. Too many in the Order forget how to be people while they're pursuing godhood. You know, I'm actually nearing the end of my shift. If you're amenable to continuing our chat somewhere more private, I think we could both benefit. Right this way. You must be curious why I asked for such a discreet rendezvous. Allow me to whet your appetite for intrigue a little further, shall I? I have adequate reason to believe the Order is conducting a mass experiment on the population of Laplace's garden. The Order is not cultivating its perfect, plan-abiding society through careful ideological pruning, as the laureates would have you believe. It's simple pharmacology. Put bluntly, they're regulating the emotions of everyone in Laplace's garden through drugs in the water supply. Why would the Order want to create a society of undistractable little academics whose only desire is to advance the plan? I wonder. One could make that argument, and obviously have. The Order claims the subjects here supposedly consented to participate, but it was begun prior to the schism with the Protectorate, so who's to say? Regardless, if the Order has made some kind of pharmaceutical breakthrough, imagine how useful it might be to certain parties to know about it in advance. I represent a group of information traders who would pay well to get their hands on a sample of this drug. Interested? All you need to do is enter water reconditioning and collect a sample of the drug. I believe they call it Perspective. This passcode will give you access to the main terminal. Watch the guards patrol before making your way into the facility. If worst comes to worst, I wager Laureate Beckett also has a keycard on him, but that might be tricky to lift. Lately, he's been sitting near the fountains, performing his silly little breathing exercises. If he's not there, then he's likely in conference with the presiding bishop. Whatever you do, be discreet. I can't have any laureates asking questions about me. Understood? One more thing before you leave. Outside of work, I have, let's call it an alternative inventory. You'll have to pay, of course, but I'm sure I have something that'll make your job a little easier. And I'd like to offload some of this merchandise. Sounds like a win-win. You're back. Any luck with the sample? I'm charmed my name was among the first to populate your thoughts when attempting to work this problem. I have some Protectorate contacts, and I might be willing to lean my elbow on the scales in your favor, but not until after I've acquired my sample. Nothing nefarious, if that's the needle in your conscience. We only mean to study the drug and consider all of its many applications. I know that must read as terribly vague to you, but I'm not at liberty to provide more detail than that. Well, I'm not asking you to do something an honest person would. Think of this as a business transaction, if that eases your mind. I represent a group of information traders who would pay well to get their hands on a sample of this drug. Interested? No. This is about control. Everything is. Most see this as a war of survival. But what everyone's really fighting for is control over the narrative. To be declared victor and have their vision for Arcadia deemed superior. It follows that a drug capable of suppressing discontent could also be used to suppress greater forms of resistance. That's all. That's your prerogative, of course. The benefits of free will. Until such time as the Order or the Protectorate repossesses it. If you change your mind, I'll be here. Taking an extended but much-deserved smoking break. Good tranquilizer for the nerves, you know.
If you need to discharge any sputum, I ask you kindly aim such accretions away from my general direction. Thank you. Oh, just passing time by calculating high-probability diametrics within an error margin of 0.05. I'm waiting for the results of a rather exciting prediction, you see. Sometime last year, I predetermined an occasion of momentous import would happen today, right here, at these very coordinates. None taken. Oh, but now I've forgotten to introduce myself properly, haven't I? Leslie Beckett, Oracle Laureate, Seer Supreme, leader of the Department of Predictive Analysis, and not terribly good at informal introductions, evidently. Never. That would be a serious offense and an effrontery to the principles of the Order, especially for a seer. I vastly prefer the systole and diastoles of competitive debate anyway. But now, if I'm not mistaken, you must be the agent we've been expecting. I knew loitering at this location would yield results. I, don't suppose you've stumbled upon any of our excogitation chapels around Cloister by chance? Excogitation chapels are order residencies where one can meditate in solitude on specific theorems relating to the plan. They're scattered all around Cloister, Prior to the war, such focused study led to all manner of breakthroughs, with audio logs routinely kept by the scientician in residence. In these unprecedented times, such logs could harbor hidden wisdom. However, with the war on, I've sadly been unable to get my hands on the last of these recordings. Oh no, I couldn't possibly ask you to endanger yourself by seeking out these logs. Cloister is rather treacherous, and some of the chapels are difficult to reach by design. However, if you happened upon these chapels and recovered these logs, I would most certainly be interested in their contents. By my reckoning, the amount of logs to be collected is 4. You have that. 4. No more, no less. Each chapel should have at least one somewhere inside. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. Oh yes, I'm aware. Better to know the spy in our midst than receive a replacement more capable of evading notice. Besides, Miss Doyle's harmless, and she serves the best convictions at the parlor, bar none. If you've already spoken with her about the experiment, I suppose there's no use in me playing coy, As you have cleverly sussed out, Laplace's garden is the subject of an experiment into social conditioning, or curating, if you will, through the use of therapeutic pharmacology. We have been administering a pharmaceutical to the population of the garden via the water supply that aids in emotional regulation. We call it perspective. It's odorless, harmless. Well, apart from the withdrawal, but I can assure you we have our best minds working on that little issue. Minor complication at worst. I'm pleased you agree. Though, to be clear, it wouldn't have mattered much if you felt differently. But now, where were we? Oh, yes. The spy. How's she now? A little ahead of schedule. No matter. You should do as she asks. Get her that sample. This is an unparalleled opportunity to see the shape of Sub Rosa's web. We only need plant the right fly. After collecting the sample, mix it with this liquid tracer. It'll make the drug functionally inert and allow us to track it wherever it shows up next. I did not become the Oracle Laureate by getting caught with my pencil down. Here, take this key. It will grant you access to water reconditioning, which you can find on the eastern side of the garden. You will also need this passcode for the terminal inside. Don't we all? Nothing beyond what I already included in my 165-page summary of the incident. Why do you ask? His resignation has been duly received and accepted. Where he goes from here or what he does now is up to him. I expect we won't hear from him anytime soon. On a more positive note, the Department of Predictive Analysis's biennial summits will be far less contentious.
Keep moving.
A scientician surplus. No more than what
A lot of space for refugees here. Guess the Order is more concerned with the idea of helping people than actually doing anything about it.
I hope you have good news for me. I knew I had the right person for the job. You've saved me quite the headache. Your reward, as promised. You did sharpen my pencil, so I suppose sharpening yours is only fair. I'll put in a word with my associates to pass along to whatever Protectorate forces are on site to expect you. It's no guarantee, but at least they won't fire upon you on site. In exchange for my help, however, I want you to bring the data back here so that I can make a copy of it. Before you hand it over to the Order, to be clear. Do we have an accord? We do work well together, don't we? Return here when you have the data. I'll be waiting.
Welcome back, Agent. I trust Laplace's garden is treating you well? In what manner can I assist you? And how did she receive it? An acceptable resolution. Moving forward, we'll be monitoring her movements even more closely. All thanks to your efforts, of course. You made the right choice cooperating with the Order in this matter. Please accept this primer. It's a concoction of my own design. I foresee it being of great value to you. I thought you understood what we were trying to accomplish here. Well, I would not be a very good scientist if I kept my mind closed to other perspectives. Make your case, and I promise to listen. There have been withdrawal issues for those cycled out of the study, but in future, under static conditions, that shouldn't be a concern. We would never allow that to happen. Perhaps I've kept myself from seeing how fraught this experiment truly is. Recent events have certainly provided good reason to update my risk metrics. Even a desire for progress may sometimes divide one from their senses. You've given me much to consider. I'll speak with the presiding bishop about the matter promptly.
technician manifests at last. Halt there. You match the description of the technician we have been vigilantly awaiting, but as they say, assumptions made are mistakes readied. Present yourself, so that I may take the measure of you. What? Spare me your technical argot and hop to it then!
That's the central tower.
People are gonna start to talk. Aren't you reliable? I just need one moment to copy the data. There, all done. Thank you ever so much. Was there anything else you wish to discuss?
I look forward to the reclamation of the Hyperion web. Hopefully you shall facilitate that. Now, how might we be of use to one another? Yes! Excellent! Take that, reductionists! Your horrid little surveillance devices shall finally be used for what their purpose should have been! Don't tell anyone about that outburst, please. Here's something to keep you quiet. I must admit I first had doubts, due to your association with a cultist. But yes, you've earned not only my trust, but the Order's as well. I hope you'll continue working with us. I've informed the presiding bishop you're coming to speak with her. She can be found in the room off the main stairwell. I'm sure I don't need to say this. But if you even think about bringing harm to Ruth, I shall know. Be on your very, very best behavior.
Ah, you've made such progress moving us toward an Order Anti's Choice alliance. Everything seems to be going according to the plan so far. But we approach a critical juncture. When you go in to speak with the presiding bishop, please raise the issue with her. I assure you this is the correct thing to do. For yourself, for us, for Arcadia. If you continue working for the Order alone, it will likely burn any possible bridge with Auntie's choice. So this is our last and only chance. Farewell. I would say good luck, but I put no stock in chance, only probability. May the plan favor us against long odds.
The Order has always proclaimed patience as a virtue, but I am pleased my waiting is finally at its endpoint. For so long, you have only existed as numerical values on a chart. A bright star in a constellation of possibilities, as it were. Now with your arrival, the Order nears the totality of its goals, provided you are willing to stay aligned with our cause. Faith is trust without evidence. You deserve far more than that. Now then, I gather you already know who I am, but science has shown that good manners strengthen developing relationships by 5.3%. So, allow me to introduce myself. I am Ruth Bassar, third presiding bishop of the Order of the Ascendant, supreme calculator, and, plan willing, the architect of Arcadia's prosperous future. I admit, when I sent my initial message, I did not exactly know who its recipient would be. But I trusted the plan, and lo and behold, it provided you as the solution. Your recent exploits at Greater Tranquility Station have certainly made for compelling reading material. Confronting an assassin, and thereby sparing the delegates' lives before the rift inexplicably destroyed the station? Such a commendable effort is worthy of acknowledgement. If your actions were so easily imitable, then we would not be speaking right now. Accept the credit. However, there's something of even greater import we must discuss. I have received numerous reports indicating the Archive has been wrested away from the Protectorate by a single, rather determined rogue factor. Your contributions to the Order will not go unreciprocated. Though even this happy solution is not without its imperfections. I've heard the Archive's priority set has been altered by its occupiers. I suppose we shall see if that remains the case. More senseless work to be done. It is my hope that such archaic methods of communicating with the Archive will soon not be necessary. I am only lacking the resources to make my plan a reality. That may be, but there is no denying that human language is limiting, inefficient, and prone to miscommunication. By forcing the Archive to speak with us through a personality-based priority set, we are throttling the speed at which we may understand the Archive, and it, us. While the Archive is an infinitely complex machine, an equally complex apparatus has been designed which allows one to interact with it directly. Brain-to-logic assembly, as it were. Unfortunately, this apparatus exacts a rather tremendous cost on the wearer. A certain panacea is needed to survive it, but I lack the chemicals to finish its manufacture. A fine deduction. We may make a proper scientician out of you yet. A plant on Praetor under Auntie's choice control has the chemicals I need for this new treatment. Infiltrate the plant and retrieve them, by whatever means necessary. There should be a maintenance tunnel on the lowest level of the plant, which lets out near the sewage pool. You may be able to sneak inside from there without drawing notice. The front entrance is likely to have security, so I would avoid that route entirely. Unless you feel confident in your skills of persuasion, or not opposed to being shot at.
I'd prefer to fight a trained Raptidon than a feral one. Well,
standing by with life support.
I wait for the bullets I must extend on these fools!
this place smells of spilled chemicals and death.
Let's see what's inside and get back to our duty. Boys. Unless it's forced worst, forced worst, no forced worst.
Potential combatants in the vicinity.
How dare you!
going on out there? These conditions are not optimal for market testing.
Unfriendly in combat range.
Retrieving chemicals from an Antes facility for the presiding bishop, for dubious means, no less, was definitely not something I ever envisioned myself doing.
The Chamber of Evaluate.
Not this again. How many times must we tread this ground, Leslie?
As many times as needed until you see reason. We have the archive back now. Yes, the work may be slow moving forward. But you needn't sacrifice yourself for mere expediency.
I have heard your thesis, and I remain unconvinced by it.
How long have we known each other, Ruth? Long enough, I'd argue, for you to recognize that I only have your best interests in mind.
Enough. I am not interested in furthering this debate, especially before an audience. Laureate Beckett and I are having a minor academic dispute. Nothing that should concern you.
Hardly minor. Wait. Is this who you tasked with going to Praetor? Do they even know what this panacea will do to you? The true cost of it?
The agent knows what is pertinent for them to know.
If you won't tell them, then I will. This little chemical cocktail will short-circuit Ruth's limbic system, eradicating her emotions. Her very humanity will be expunged. And she will be absolutely no fun during our weekly game of diminishing variable whist.
All in service to a far greater goal. I cannot be distracted by the agony of wearing the binary lector during my interactions with the Archive. The apparatus I mentioned before. The binary lector will allow me to convene with the Archive near instantaneously, expediting our shared understanding.
If it does not outright kill you, or drive you to madness as it has done the others who have tested the damnable thing.
They did not have my tolerance for pain, nor my resolve. With the panacea I intend to create, physical suffering will be a peripheral consideration.
Has everyone lost their senses? This cannot be in line with the Grand Architect's plan.
You are letting your personal feelings influence your interpretation of the numbers. It would not be the first time, would it? My decision is made. All that remains is delivery of the chemicals themselves.
I cannot be party to this. I'm sorry.
It will take some time to finish manufacturing the final mixture, but you have created eventuality, where before there existed only possibility. There is another matter that must be resolved as soon as possible, concerning the Hyperion reticulum. We studied the data you brought back from the crashed satellite, and we now have a way to reorient the satellites en masse from a protectorate installation, Oris Listening Post. Then I look forward to hearing your next report. May your actions further the plan.
Alert! Unsanctioned individual detected in immediate vicinity. Present credentials. Status: not convinced. Activating alarm. Please allow yourself to die quietly.
Why? Emergency protocol syringes prime. We're not doing it quietly.
Warring Council, Arbiter Walk.
Standing by with life support.
Rectification required.
Wonderful to see you again. Have you decided that I have failed the Protectorate? Am I in need of mental refreshment or corporal punishment? Protectorate justice is the only way to alleviate its pain.
Nonsense. The Protectorate's weighed and offered absolution carries every bit the weight of its admonishment. The matter has been judged and settled. That should bring you every bit as much joy as a month of hard labor, or trip to mental refreshment. It is blessed atonement without the weight.
I suppose you're right. If, in your wisdom, this is the better path to redemption, who would dare to argue otherwise?
Exactly. To reject our forgiveness is just...
Task completed. It is highly recommended. You return to Presiding Bishop Ruth Bazaar and inform her of the satellite's successful alignment.
Agent. Just the individual I had designated this time to converse with. As should be self-evident, I have dispensed with the slavish whims of the body. My mind is clearer than it has ever been, and I have you to thank. Of course, the chances of a negative outcome were always negligible. I have learned of the events that took place at Aris Listening Post. You continue to be a credit to the Order and this colony. With the Hyperion Reticulum properly positioned, our understanding of the universe will accelerate tenfold. We are closer in alignment with the plan than ever before. I am certain of it. There now remains only one problem left to solve for: Auntie Cleo. To ensure Arcadia's future, she must be removed from the equation. You have proven yourself reliable, but do not underestimate Cleo's cunning. There is a high probability she will try to bargain for her life if given the chance. I cannot predict with sufficient accuracy what other dangers you might face inside her headquarters, but I would advise exercising your usual caution. And you will be. Go forth now, as determined by the plan.
Greetings, distinguished ally. What a favorable confluence of events that brings us brimming with dire purpose to this den of acquisition. Our highly educated soldiery are here to support you, to assist in clearing a path to the, boss, I suppose, of our short-sighted consumerist rivals. Is there anything I can do to facilitate your efforts? Her office is in the aptly named head office tower. We must fight through her troops to reach its elevators. Is there anything else? May our intended actions yield expected results.
I cleaned Spacer's chosen goalie at the end of the 56th inning, then made a Sunday goal to win the game. Whenever I see that rude man's pretty face, I want to keep it in place. Hostile take over this! Right back at you!
I'm Auntie Cleo, and I endorse this message. Tranicular, arriving any moment now. Approaching station. Client intake. Toil is netting us.
Please maintain control of personal belongings on the tram at all times.
Thanks to our marketing. This is Auntie Cleo, offering a warm welcome to all visiting Auntie's Choice employees, affiliates in training, and ethically gray consultants who labor with committing to a side. Always remember, commercialism is the foundation that Auntie's Choice Society is based upon. Not because we worship bits, but because of the system's glorious efficacy. While the Protectorate decide what it's...
You're playing your part in the grand plan.
It's you. I cogitate from the wireless.
Morally gray outsiders receive when they join up with Auntie's Choice.
Enemy spotted.
Look sharp. It's a fight.
Intruder alert!
Emergency.
Greetings. Is there anything I can do to... Is there anything else? May our...
Purchase and consume
With Auntie's choice. Tranicular. Arriving any moment now. Approaching station. Client intake. I do enjoy no rousing sporting match as much as all of you base rank and
Corporates always look to build things as cheaply as possible. This thing will likely fly off the tracks and kill us all. At least it'll be an interesting ride.
offering a warm welcome to all visiting Auntie's Choice employees, affiliates in training, and ethically gray consultants who labor with committing to a side. We took what nature heedlessly assembled and vastly rebettered it through artificial means. At Auntie's Choice, we strive to be 110% wholly plus artificial. Artificiality. What sort of reception do morally gray outsiders receive when they join up with Auntie's Choice?
generation. Spacer's Choice woven-headed mascot represents the worst
here to brighten your workday with a report on just how much money your toil is netting us. It's time for profit forecast time, starting with product development, the Boar's loaf and butter of our entire operation. Thanks to our marketing wizards selling the sizzle of incremental product improvement, sales of new and improved stimulants
Might sting. A lot.
Look sharp. It's a fight.
Recharge for mayhem.
Look sharp. It's a fight.
Well, look who it is. Ruth's lackey. But perhaps you have more negotiating skills. Let's parlay. See if we can come to... I remember you from Fairfield. You were quite agreeable, if I recall. We must attempt to recapture that affability now. Let's be reasonable, shall we? Everyone has a price. What's your lowest offer for yours? But that would put me on an awkward footing. Never haggle while on your back heel, I always say. Oh, fine. You're a shrewd negotiator. I'll surrender. I keep my life. The Order can imprison me somewhere. You know, every need cared for, no immense weight of responsibility, no more running Auntie's choice every single instant of every single day. And in return, I'll provide you my telescoping staff, my dress, my wig. I mean, that is what you're proposing, correct? Now, what do you think? Should I accept this deal of yours? I promise you'll never find them then. Completely. Not prevaricating wildly at all. Oh, That's quite a clever strategy. Suppose you realize you have me over a barrel. Fine. Wait, you're not bluffing, are you? This isn't some savvy negotiating tactic at all. You intend to kill me. Wait, whatever they're offering, I'll almost double it. Stop! This instant! Don't touch that! No! No! No!
With Cleo dead, Auntie's choice will surely collapse from the ensuing power struggle. Thus always to materialists. The Order is now well positioned to triumph over the regressive forces of ignorance that have heretofore held Arcadia in stasis. And it is all thanks to you. Your contributions have been many and varied, and I will not belabor the point by recounting them all here. But know this. When the final contest with the Protectorate takes place, wherever that may occur, you will not only have the Order support, I will stand with you personally. Were I still shackled to ego, I might have succumbed to some instinct for self-preservation. But my presence improves the odds of our success, and so there is no other decision to be made.
It appears Horizon Point Station is still in the process of being reconstituted. The rift itself is also more unstable than ever. As a result, landing closer to the location of the Protectorate's large-scale rift anomaly modulator is not possible. In order to modify it with the rift data you processed in the archive, you will need to travel to its location on foot and seize it from Protectorate control. The energy readings from the modulator can be traced to the Sovereign's flagship, Providence, hovering on the far side of the station. Hypothesizing. Given Protectorate hierarchy and the recent announcement about the Sovereign's mental refreshment, this is likely the Consul's doing. He will need to be stopped.
A would-be tyrant doing something tyrannical. Who could have seen this coming?
Intimidation is not required. Protectorate subjects are not programmed to question authority. Warning. The rift is growing dangerously unstable. Using the rift modulator on board the Providence is the only way to prevent certain destruction of the colony.
Of course she's here. The past is future and all that. Well, I'm not trusting her to get the job done. Not like last time.
Once the modulator is secured, it may be used to close the rift and save Arcadia and all those in its orbit. There is minimal room for error, Commander. Good luck. Providence identified. Standing for the Protectorate colonial anthem is not required at this time. Exiting hazard radius. Status: alive.
Unfriendly company. They're not.
N-ray. Exposure. Undermining. Functioning.
Fortifying teammate vitals.
Lift weapon prime!
N-ray. Exposure. Undermining. Functioning.
Recharge for mayhem!
Maintaining.
Why did you make me do this?
A voice mount has been found for Agent Pascal. However, Agent Pascal is dead. This unit may need maintenance.
Get away from me. See them? They were my teammates and they didn't listen neither. You'll end up just the same.
Agent Pascal, calm yourself. You are not in your right mind.
Don't you talk to me like you know me. Wait. Commander? Is that you? No. No, this must be some kind of trick. Law, what's happening to me? So it is you. Thank Law. I don't understand what happened, Commander. Something was wrong with Sandoval and Jepson. They glowed like they were aflame. They ran in, jumped at me, clawed at me. Law, I had to kill them.
Then they weren't too dissimilar from the troopers we encountered outside. This is concerning.
I don't understand what's happening. Everything was fine. Till the explosion. I was pinned. Fire closed in.
I tried to move. I tried to find the rookie. Then the whole station shook and tore apart. And then... nothing.
That explains it. She was left alive, just long enough for the rift to take her. That's why the reconstitution worked on her. To some extent.
Wait. There was something else. Sandoval was yelling. DeVries wasn't responding to comms. What happened? Don't tell me the situation got too fluid for you, DeVries. That it?
Certainly not. I was focused on the objective, as every one of your crew should have been. Isn't that right, Commander?
Yeah. Something tells me that ain't quite true.
This is not the time. Can't you see she's...
No. Shut up, DeVries. Oh, I knew something was the matter. Tell me. Tell me everything.
And that is only because I had critical information. The consequences for leaving these people to their devices would have been catastrophic. I had to stop them.
Oh, so what you did wasn't catastrophic? You betrayed the Earth Directorate. Us.
It's the Protectorate who deserve your ire. They are the cause of all of this. Void, they're the reason you're now here, in some mockery of existence.
So I'm not really alive. Is that what you're saying? And you tell me DeVries caused all this, but here you are, standing by her, like nothing is wrong? How can I trust any of this? It doesn't make sense. So I should just give up? Not question you, or her, or what in the void is happening to me? Stop speaking in circles! What are they doing?
The Protectorate are attempting to reconstitute the station to how it was moments before destruction. That includes you. But it's failing. I'm sorry.
So I've come back from death to some warped version of life? All because of some twisted experiment? Is that about right? I assume you got a plan to help me? You do, don't you? Void. This is it, ain't it? I'll never see the sun again. Never fly in our ship. Never anything. And you're just gonna stand there and watch me die, huh? What am I supposed to do? What? Yeah, well, the amount of hope I got ain't worth a damn. Reckon best you can do is end this for me. So will you? I'm sure.
Allow me to make things right, Pascal. Agent. I'll ensure your proper burial.
That's the least you could do. But it doesn't absolve you of shit. Let's not draw this out anymore, Commander. Do it.
It's all right. This will be over soon. I swear it.
The death of Agent Pascal meets all necessary requirements to be determined a mercy killing. Well done, Commander. You spared Agent Pascal suffering and torment. A short-range rover has emerged from the mountains, Commander. Destination, Horizon Point. Intention, unknown.
Temperature falling. N-ray. Exposure. Undermining. N-ray. Exposure. Undermining. Functioning.
Weapons prime! That covers what looks much better! Defensive is perfect!
Warning. The rift ahead has absorbed plasma and should not be approached directly.
We'd to be so close. The rift. It's magnificent. When we've done what we came to do, it's finally time. I shall soon be reborn into perfection. Thank you for bringing me here.
This is scientist Bernard Rand, sent to...
I think these calculations may actually make sense. Or I'm completely misinterpreting them. One or the other. Looks like they were trying to use this equation to figure out how to remove the plasma that's agitating that rift. I may be able to do something with it. I mean, if you'd like me to. This equation is pretty basic in construction, but I think I see the potential. All we need to do is bend the laws of physics, disregard everything we know about the nature of matter, and then the solution is somewhat obvious. Now you're talking. I can't wait to see what madness you're about to propose. And solved. I nearly broke a sweat for a moment there. Good work, Commander. Both the science and the rift.
Report to intake for processing. Welcome aboard. Attention, crew deck. Intruder alert. Be vigilant.
Reinforcement pre-order.
Just for mayhem!
If you must replace lost equipment, please submit proof of punishment. Unit does not accept blood. Please make a request.
Hey, free thinkers! Line unlimited.
What remains of Horizon Point should yield much in the way of science, once the threat of the rift is neutralized. But that is for the future. Proceed with our plan. I will rejoin you soon. What remains of Horizon Point should yield much in the way of science, once the threat of the rift is neutralized. But that is for the future. Proceed with our plan. I will rejoin you soon.
Reminder, any and all screams of agony will be reported to your superior. How might this unit bolster or reduce your current blood volume?
About to get ugly, Commander. Unless you'd like to avoid the direct approach.
facilities. Contact reestablished.
Please take 3 deep breaths before continuing. Under these circumstances, locating the access credentials or proceeding by stealth is recommended.
That rift modulator's gotta be somewhere around here.
Are you actually authorized? Come on.
Enemy near. Statistical chance of violence increased.
Take whatever you want.
Just take the keycard.
Search his corpse to see if he's got the means to access the modulator's control system on his person.
Accessing report. Rift restoration analysis. Compiled by Chief Scientist Monserrate. Marked for delivery to Consul Thoreau.
Esteemed Consul, after much analysis, my conclusion is that the modulator we have worked tirelessly to build will not function as intended when used for reconstituting matter from rifts. Every test of reconstitution has resulted in demonstrable failure. Proceeding as we are now with Horizon Point Station will surely lead to severe, unanticipated consequences. The modulator is only effective at closing rifts from unsafe distances. Using it to close exacerbated rifts will certainly lead to the destruction of any vessel carrying it. Unfortunately, the data that we originally had hoped for from the ancient rifts detected in the far reaches of space untouched by humanity has not yielded any of its secrets. And we are now out of time. All of our recent readings suggest that we're on the verge of losing control of this rift. I recommend diverting from our current plan before it is too late for Arcadia. I've included extensive notes and annotations appended to the modulator schematics to substantiate these conclusions. I know you will guide us wisely, my dear Consul.
Schematics acquired. However, the information contained here also indicates the existence of rifts beyond where humanity has traveled. This does not compute. Finding the Consul should remain your top priority, Commander. Please postpone any existential crises for a later date.
Your punctuality is as commendable as ever. How did you fare in securing the rift modulator? Yet one more hindrance to overcome in this endeavor. Nevertheless, I expect you to guard those plans closely in the interim. Did you find anything else of note? When one learns information that rattles their understanding of the universe, one may take a moment to consider the gravity of said information. We know that rifts are only caused by skip drives, so if they are appearing in non-colonized space, then this is truly momentous. It proves definitively that life did not originate on Earth, and may, in fact, exist elsewhere in other forms. I concur. This is a discussion for later, with laureates in attendance. For now, we must confront the Consul before he wrests that future away forever. He is just through those doors. I have run the numbers, and should you wish to negotiate with the Consul, you must be strategic. He will not react well to a direct attack on his character or methods early on. It certainly may. At which point we may find the opening needed to convince him to stand down. The situation is more likely to devolve into violence than not, but I am willing to give this solution a chance, if only to observe what arguments you construct.
The Earth Directorate Manual encourages the agent to always remember the 3 shuns: negotiation, fabrication, and assassination. When one fails, try another.
The more we debate, the more time we squander. We must resupply and shore up whatever defenses we have quickly. And if you've something to say to any of us, Commander, I suggest you say it while you have the chance. No telling what awaits us beyond that door.
The distinguished presiding bishop herself has deigned to join us. What a charming surprise. I might have known you'd enlist the nearest rabble in reach to crusade against me. Loyalty has eluded you for years, after all. Sentinels, if you would.
Greater numbers, greater odds. It was necessary to combat the irrationality of your foolish endeavor. By failing to show reason, you have lost your edict to rule. Now, stand down.
What's the matter with you? Have your wits been dulled? I am doing what is necessary to save Arcadia. And I'll start by ridding it of trespassers like you. You are less a guest and more of an invasive species, Commander. One that I will cull in short order. Yes, I know well who you are. In any other situation, I might be compelled to take you apart and see how precisely it is you operate, but time, it would seem, isn't on your side. You are a relic of an impotent institution, propelled forward by nothing more than luck and foolhardy metal. My dear agent, everything that occurs in Arcadia I know of. My sentinels have made sure of that. I've been following your progress closely, you know, since you so unceremoniously caused our Vox relay to crash into Westport. When you began your dealings with the Order and the Corporatists, I thought that perhaps having a chaotic element in their midst could work in our favor. But now you're here, scurrying around my ship and attempting to thwart the Protectorate yet again. You think yourself clever, don't you? The Sovereign is indisposed, leaving myself as the sole custodian of Arcadia. What's his is mine. And the victory I inevitably clench over you, over anyone, will be his in turn, even if he's not here to bask in it. Such bravado is unbecoming when you can't make good on your promises, Commander. Tell me, did you manage to stop us from bringing your peace talks to a swift end? As I recall, Greater Tranquility was reduced to little more than mangled ruins in a single moment.
Greater Tranquility Station was a test?
It was a modest success. I had hoped it'd hobble Auntie's choice in the Order once and for all, but it has proven to be a valuable lesson in patience. I was able to buy the time to enact the very plan before you. Though, judging from that vacant expression on your face, it would appear you've no idea what I intend. Very well. Once the rift destroys Arcadia, we shall edit the information stored within it and use the modulator to reshape our colony into its perfect form. Horizon Point's destruction all those years ago was a tragedy, yes, but without it, we might never have opened our eyes to our true purpose and the possibility of Arcadia's rebirth. When the Matriarch discovered the first skip drive, she set us on a course to elevate humanity. We're now writing our path, and I will do my part as the Architect intended. I cannot blame you people for clinging to the ill-gotten authority you've wielded for so long. But your lot will now be one of disappointment. This future is what is owed to us. In the Matriarch's younger years, she discovered a crashed ship deep in the Earth. And in it, the very first skip drive known to humanity. She dissected this tech, learned its secrets, and enabled us to produce them en masse. And, well, that eventually led to the manifestation of rifts. But it was not until well after Horizon Point's untimely end that we understood the opportunity gifted us. The opportunity to reconstruct the colony in its perfect form. It is as the Grand Architect designed. And believe you me, I've no intention of letting you thwart our securing of a better future. One free of doubt and greed. It's your time that's running out, not mine. So go on, tell me all the ways I'm wrong. Better yet, tell the whole room how His Eminence, the Sovereign, was wrong. This was originally his plan, after all. I am merely a partner, seeing it carried out. If it means preserving the Matriarch's legacy and the dedicated protectorate among us, yes, without question. Those who are worthy will live again. As for the others, they are no innocents. I shall not mourn any perpetrator of unsanctioned violence or treachery, and will in fact thrive in their absence.
Your statements do not indicate strong leadership potential.
Hush. I was conversating with your leader here. Yes, well, we also lost the support of the Order. But can one truly call that a loss? We would have drowned already in the seas of war with the weight of their inaction around our necks.
Reality would dispute that fact, given that it is I who has invaded your sanctum, and not the other way around. The Order has always been the Protectorate's more capable half.
I can scarcely recognize the Bishop standing in front of me. To think that I welcomed your ascension all those years ago. Orlo was at least amenable, moldable, teachable. But you've been nothing but disappointment. You're so busy chasing figments of the future, you don't even know they're leading you off the side of a cliff.
To a man of such expansive pride, all perceived slights become personal. Recall, Emery, that we once worked together toward the same aims. You made us enemies when you started down this unconscionable deviation from what is best for Arcadia.
I will not be blamed for your treacherous actions. A true Protectorate subject knows that adhering to the Sovereign's words is what's best for Arcadia. And you were never true. The same can be said for any subject who wavers. They are dead weight, and we must cast them off straight away. Once I win the war and leave those naysayers behind, harsh action will be swiftly forgotten. And once I provide for the needs of my subjects, I will have them forever. Indeed. That's why my strongest supporters wholeheartedly believe in me, and the Protectorate cause. So which is it? Can my people see reason, as you so aptly put it? Or are they mindless drones, needing desperately to be saved by you? It cannot be both. For every traitor in our midst, thousands of loyalists remain. If anyone attempts to move against me, they are merely announcing themselves as the chaff to be cut. And they promptly will be. What are you saying? No. This is a preposterous assertion. You don't know what you're speaking of.
I'm the agent who was sent to Horizon Point to sabotage the Protectorate's experiments. Some in the Order believe the experiments would lead to catastrophe if left unchecked. Indeed, if I hadn't destroyed the station, your ilk would have destroyed the entire fabric of reality. And I've suffered with that truth for 10 years.
The operation she speaks of was indeed conducted by members of the Order. But these were rogue elements. They defied my own determinations. They were not catalyzed by them.
Then the Order's treachery runs even deeper than we thought. There will be swift recompense for this humiliation. Of that you can be certain. I remind you that I am still waiting to hear any compelling evidence against my plans. That is the entire reason for this exhausting exchange of ideas, is it not?
Madness is rarely apparent to one in its throes. I wonder, would you even be capable of hearing facts if we offered them?
I am the chosen shepherd of Arcadia and will not be spoken to like this. I am only doing what I must to restore this colony to what our matriarch envisioned. Free of war, strife, heresy. You must know that you have little chance of swaying me. I will not be distracted from taking what is owed to us. A Raptidon does not believe a breadworm capable of defeating him, but he's interested to see it try. So try. And what is your definition of wrong? Have you anything substantial to back such a claim? I see. Well, the man was always a cynic. I find that attitude can skew results even more than a thumb on the scale might. One data point means little. The Protectorate was clearly meant to harness this power. Nothing you claim can disprove everything that points to this reality. And now I've reached the end of my patience. You came here claiming so boldly that I would fail, but you have yet to provide any proof. So where is it? What do you have? Indeed. Then why wait? Your curtain falls.
Enemy spotted.
If the readouts are to be believed, the rift is on the verge of destabilizing completely. But the rift modulator cannot be operated from this distance. It must be flown into the rift.
A pilot will be required to ensure the modulator reaches its destination.
Though it may be troubling to you, this conclusion holds no uncertainty. Someone present must do this. This is not possible. There is no set destination we can command the ship to fly to. The flying and the activation of the modulator must be done manually. I will take the schematics back with me, and using the processed Rift data, of course. The Order will begin production of more modulators that can be operated at a safe distance.
The Earth Directorate is here to help you.
Your death will not be wasted effort. I will work to protect Arcadia, and ensure your sacrifice is remembered for the selfless action it is.
It appears the pilot must be chosen from among those currently present, Commander. This unit is happy to enlist a volunteer by force.
No need to belabor this. I will fly the ship. Back on Greater Tranquility, you wish to give me a chance to atone for my mistakes. I'd say that opportunity has come.
No one's going in there without me. And I'll make sure she does this right if it's the last thing I do. And it will be.
Team cohesion is estimated to improve by 24.8% as a result of removing Agents DeVries and Leitinger.
One who chooses not to die needlessly. But if you are set on this, I would still join you. This is my mission too, and I'll not back down if there are others to carry out the rest.
You're really keeping me from doing this, aren't you? And I can't talk you out of it? Fine.
Salvation awaits, Commander. I'm itching to reach it.
The commanders sacrificed themselves to save the galaxy. No one knew their motives or thoughts in those final moments, though legends grew around this mythical agent of the Earth Directorate all the same. Augustine DeVries went along, knowing nothing would make up for her actions. But at least she'd not have to live with her guilt any longer. Vigilant Hogarth, now acclimated to Fairfield, leaned on the Protectorate ideals of neighborliness, while overlooking all the authoritarian tactics, so he might help the Order to succeed with the equation. Following its destruction by the Vox Station, the former Protectorate town of Westport was never rebuilt. The Order left its burnt-out ruins as a monument to the horrors of war. The Order returned Alexandra Monastery and Matriarch's Mercy to their original purpose, contemplating the clockwork of the universe in pursuit of solving the equation, while thoughtfully relocating refugees to another settlement. The abbot carried on as the head of the monastery, a task he excels at in peacetime. He was assigned a new seer who lacked Wiley's ambition. They got along much better. Seer Wiley fled the Order and sought refuge in a backwater Arcadian town to contemplate his failings. As word of the ex-seer's arrival spread, people lined up for predictions. Forsaking the math that failed him, he offered obvious yet effective advice instead. Archivist Victor Clemens, having survived his encounter with the commander and manipulation by DeVries, ended up exiling himself into the wilderness to live a life of solitude from the Order. Zebulon Tran was apprehended plotting against the Protectorate and sent to mental refreshment. Reluctant to name collaborators, he was subjected to the Lathe at its highest setting. He emerged as the perfect Protectorate subject, with no memory of either Niles or his sister. Val continued to serve the Earth Directorate faithfully for many more years than should be possible, giving automechs like her everywhere a reputation as stable and reliable. As a result, more Valerie units were put into service, while fewer human agents were deployed into the field. Niles remained torn about the Earth Directorate and his place in it. His victory at the reconstituted Horizon Point turned to ash in his mouth when he learned that his friend, Zebulon Tran, was captured while attempting a heist on the tomb of the matriarch. Niles slipped away from the incognito one evening to attempt to free Zebulon from mental refreshment and make amends for the past. He was never seen or heard from again. The commander killed Ines, and thus no one ever learned her woefully fascinating tale of corporate abuse or agonizing journey through the bodily horrors of Auntie's secret grafting program. With full control of the archive and the modulator schematics in hand, the Order called upon all Ascendants to collaborate in one purpose, that of rebuilding Arcadia. Ruth Bessar proceeded to interface with the archive, an agonizing process that shortened her life, yet accelerated the Order's work in solving the universal equation. Decades into the future, she would be recognized as the most efficient presiding bishop in Order history. With the old auntie dead, a new figurehead was needed to keep up appearances. Company execs fast-tracked auditions for a new auntie, but it was too little, too late for the corporation's influence to recover, leaving it ripe for a hostile takeover. A grateful Order bestowed the commander with a posthumous academic position equivalent to a laureate, noting they were on permanent academic hiatus due to extreme heroism. Adrift without firm leadership, Protectorate subjects struggled with post-war life. A small band of hardliners collaborated to preserve their society in the face of Arcadia's new leadership. Forced to think for themselves after a lifetime of luxurious certainty, they let the teachings of the matriarch guide them, finding their way as best they could. When Sovereign Varric was discovered in mental refreshment, the Order attempted to help him recover without much success. He lived out the rest of his addled days at Laplace's garden, often spotted sitting by the pond and staring at the water. Despite the recent tumultuous events in Arcadia, it was business as usual for Free Market Station. Sub Rosa continued to supply the colony in the wake of the commander's actions. With the Protectorate on its last legs post-invasion, the Earth Directorate took the opportunity to renegotiate its purchase of skip drives with the new leadership of Arcadia. The Order allowed the Earth Directorate to establish a base of operations in Arcadia as a sort of local security force. In exchange, the Order would be allowed to continue their scientific pursuits undisturbed. Thanks to the Order's thoughtful planning, the rifts were all closed and all colonies in proximity to Arcadia were saved. But the fate of those farther out in the galaxy remains unclear. All of these events turned on the decisive actions of the Earth Directorate agent and their unique way of navigating Arcadia, its disparate factions, social complexities, ubiquitous product placement, and arsenal of absurdly satisfying weaponry. But through it all, and to this day, Earth has remained inexplicably dark.